Let's talk about IIM-Bangalore's UG program. Recently, the top 300 students were called to the campus offline. We wanted to revisit this program because this year they're accepting JEE and CUET from 2023, 24, 25. And this is a dual degree program. You can do it along with any of your existing college courses. These are the dates for the admission process, and these are the subjects that you study. Because skepticism is normal, you're going to wonder if an online degree is really worth it. So we had the opportunity to sit down with Professor Suresh and talk about the program and what the students are doing.
Hey, it's afterwards.
I've heard really good reviews because people came to the campus, they saw all of this, and they're like, I am in love. People don't have that reaction for offline colleges also. So what would be your report card for the past 1 year of BBA?
One of the hardest places to sell is in the academic institution itself. The faculty are our biggest critic. Because in a place like IIM-Bangalore, where the level of academics is so high, to believe that a model like online is possible and the faculty wanting to be part of it was very interesting. We have about 340 odd pin codes where students are from. And that to any academic is very heartwarming. We would expect students to join from distant locations where possibly high quality colleges are not in their neighborhood. When we recently did Nova Unplugged, we had this student from remote part of West Bengal, 6 hours from Kolkata. And it is those kind of students that excite us, that if they are able to access high quality education and they would like to learn, then this program has achieved what it is set out to achieve. Although we have done 50 years of offline teaching, online teaching is a completely different kettle of fish, right? So the way in which we onboard students, the way in which we keep track of students, the way in which student life cycle management, all of them are completely new to us. Because we can't really figure out how it is to swim by standing on the edge of the pool. How much ever we were prepared, when we started, there were a lot of issues. So students have been extremely patient with us. I really appreciate a lot of these young people writing to us saying, I think you should do this, I think you should do that.
In a way, the students are becoming co-pilots along with the faculty members.
Absolutely.
To shift the dialogue towards new students who might want to enroll for the second cohort, the students have a lot more touch with the campus as compared to other online programs. So do you plan to expand this? How do you plan to make it more interactive with them?
When we started, we said no campus visit, right? No socializing, no campus visit, no placement. But when our board saw these data, where the students are from, recognizing the need for interpersonal skill development at this age group, they were suggestive that we should consider doing some forms of socializing events. So which is why we did one in Bombay, we did one in Delhi. So when it was suggested by our director, why don't you all consider inviting them to campus? We didn't have too much time, but we didn't want to let go of an offer like that. I would gamify the whole thing. Maybe I will do it. We only have 300 people who can come into our Audi. Maybe I'll start to say only the top 300 will come.
Squid Game, IIM-Bangalore edition.
Yeah, so you say that, okay, you can come to your local meetups, but if you want to come to campus, you will have to do well in the program.
Yes.
We are doing learning pods. So if certain learning pods are doing very well, then we can say that they can be given some merchandise.
Yes.
Or start to have leaderboards and invite only leaderboards to participate in some events. Maybe start to look at internships where they can work in their neighborhood incubators. Yeah. So there are some ideas that we have in order to make it hybrid at various levels.
I know that a lot of people chose this for the prestige that it gives them. that I'm from IIM-Bangalore. They can put it in their email ID, and people are using that email to cold mail, and they're getting fantastic results. And they're putting it in their LinkedIn, they're putting it in their Instagram bio. So the credibility that they have as an individual just skyrockets. And a lot of people who thought that this would be an easy way to gain credibility had a shock when they wrote the statistics exam. And I think this shock has not been achieved by IIT Madras, because I've not seen people fail. They've gotten lower marks, but they've gotten the answers online. The question papers are similar in nature, and they've been able to go through. And people do not really look at their CGPA in their secondary degree. They just want to show, hey, I have a BBA. I also have a BSc. This is from IIM. This is from IIT. Hire me, please. So what do you think the students' response was after the statistics exam, and how seriously are they taking this now?
So the way I would like to look at this course as, it's not a tough, but it's a rigorous one, that your stamina has to go up. And when your stamina goes up, you're of value to the world outside, because they can then put you to a lot of interesting work, but you will be able to, especially if you're going and joining a startup. I would like to look at a much more creative way of examining. Get one entrepreneur and put a viva, see what works, as in now hire them or put them to a stress test. So online gives you certain advantages with offline, which is very rigid, doesn't allow you. But having said that, we wouldn't want to be known as a very merciless course. We would want people to enjoy being part of it, and in the process develop skill sets. So if you are genuine and if you want to put in hard work, we really would want to work with those people. If you want to come here, wing it just for the brand, be part of IIM, we would really like to weed those people out and only keep genuine, very hardworking, interested in learning. That said, we really would want to work with them.
If I was a student with a lot of objections, sir, why should I join this program? I am already doing a BTech. This will take more of my time, sir. Yes, so like you can tell me as a conversation, sir.
A simple answer is, don't join. The way I would like to look at this program is, we're giving you very high quality content. If you can spend 10 to 12 hours a week seriously on this particular course, if serious, 12 hours is what you can give a week. We're giving you extremely high quality education. Right? What you do with the rest 28, if we assume 40 hours to be a week, work week, you're getting 10 to 12 hours is all that you're taking. Maybe you want to give yourself 14 hours. Then the rest of the time is yours. You can work on a startup idea. You can take internships. You can join another degree course. So what you do with the other part which remains from your 40, I think I'm letting you be very creative. So if you're creative enough to be disciplined, if you're creative enough to say that let me do things on my own, then there's a course for you. But if you say that, look, I don't know, I just want to learn everything. Here is a program that I also want to join. I also want to do engineering. I also want to do IIT Madras. I also want to do CPA. I think that's a very bad strategy. Because one, you're taking too much on yourself. Because a lot of people, youngsters, all you guys need to understand, students have come and said, oh, I don't know what I should do. I tell them, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I did my bachelor's, I did my master's, only at the PhD level, I thought this is what I want to do, right? So if you are in exploratory mode, then this is a program, again, because it gives you a lot of flexibility to explore. So don't do this just because there's IIM-B and you want a brand association. Do it because it is giving you some cards that you would like to play in the future, right? As Steve Jobs said, it's helping you create dots that you can connect later.
And you can only connect the dots backwards.
Backwards. So, but for you to create those dots, this is giving you that extra time. Right? So look at it that way. So if you are confident enough, if you're disciplined enough, and if you'd like to have that exploratory, adventurous way of looking at life, then this certainly is a program for you.
And there was also that scholarship option of 50% fee waiver, which helped out a lot of students. So for prospective students coming in, they, for some reason, whenever I talk with them, their first question is, placement milega ya nahi milega? So why do you think everyone is so placement oriented? Why can't they perhaps have the courage to think, I will learn a set of 7 skills or 8 skills which will make me job ready? Why are people fixated on placements?
Like, I don't know why people who study human capital should answer that question. I tend to think that the reason why a lot of people get attracted to MBA education is the delta in the salary before and after they finish the course apparently is the highest. So that could have been the reason for a lot of people picking up, saying that, look, I want to earn well, I want to do well. So for me, placements is the lowest common multiple. Many years ago, when jobs were very hard to come by, search was very hard. So good companies were hard to search, good talent was hard to search. Then IIMs and IITs became that platform for good companies to come here, for good students to come here to find each other.
Now the marketplace has become more democratized.
Absolutely. The democratizing of this entire labor market is so high that you could use LinkedIn to get a job, you could get internships to get a job, you could write blogs and get a job, you can pester people with emails and get a job. I keep saying these things, right? So job-focused education, I think, is little bit underplaying the current talent and the current capability that the world is offering. If you build capabilities that the market wants, then market will find you.
They've grown up with an understanding that they will join a good college and the college will bring a company to them. In entrepreneurship, one of the best advices is you keep asking people, shooting your shot, getting rejected, standing back again and doing it, that you become immune to rejections to an extent.
I would like students to also start to take jobs that gives them capabilities and not money, which I think a lot of people miss out. So we had great companies from campus, but how many joined Amagi at that stage? It's a unicorn, right? We had Mithun Sacheti of Carrot Lane. He was here. If he had asked me, would anybody like to join me at that instant, how many would have joined? Nobody, right? I remember calling Flipkart folks many years ago. I think it was 12 or 13. How many people would have joined Flipkart at that instance? So understanding that there are lots of waves out there, and for surfing, you don't need to say there's only one wave. You need to learn how to surf, right? So you need to figure out, how do you balance? How do you figure out whether this wave or the other wave is going to be bigger? And that is a capability that students will have to develop themselves. So as long as I'm heading this program, which is for another 2 years, we will not have placements.
Makes sense.
Because I think placement, as I told you, is going down and making sure that you are so risk averse that you don't want to take risky but high learning environment. And if you don't do that when you're 22, you definitely are not going to do it at 42 when you are a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old kid that you need to take care of, right? Right? So your parents are getting old. So you're not going to do it at 50s. This is the age to take risk. This is the age to try out different companies. Why would you not want to join Asian Paints? Because you don't know what you do there. You never know what is going to happen subsequently, because that's a data point. Maybe your supervisor will give you a very good reco. Maybe the supervisor may have a son who is in a top school faculty who may say that, oh, come, I'll tell you what needs to be done. You never know how things play out. Right? To understand there's only one wave that you need to play, there's only one train that's going to go out, and I need to be on that train or I need to be on that wave, is a very myopic way of looking at careers, not at this age.
So I believe it's also the opportunity cost that keeps getting calculated inadvertently in our playing. Okay, if I choose this, I'm blocking all the other options at this point of time. So I'm scared, should I be choosing this?
Okay. At some point of time, you will have to decide, right? It's
Yeah.
the same question with your partner. No, at some point of time when you say, I'm going to pitch with this person, that means that your optionality goes away, right? So you need to understand to say that I like this, I don't like this and all. When 22, you should not be worrying about a job or salary. I think 22, you should be worrying about your learning. There are two kinds of learning. Learning that I can do a functional job well is good. But 2 promotion later, you are not going to do Excel. So what is the job that you're going to do in future? And that you're not building a skill set for that. You're not developing interpersonal relationships. You're not developing confidence to go up and speak to people. You're not developing how do you handle trouble. These are the things that are going to come in useful later, not your ability to do insanely fast Excel or wonderful coding. They're good to begin with, but we should very quickly learn that other skills. So learning how to learn is what you should be focusing on.
And there's nothing better that teaches you how to learn when it's self-paced, it's online, and the accountability is yours.
That's a very good point. Yes, the onus is yours, the responsibility is yours, the discipline is yours, and that's going to stay with you.
To circle back the placement point, you said that you're not providing placements, but because people found this course, because people got connected with NSRCell, they've been able to get internships. And people who had the courage to just ask, hey, is there an opening? Hey, I can do this. Here is a problem statement I can solve for you. They've been able to get reply backs from founders. So how would you motivate more students of BBA-DBE and other programs to just ask and shoot their shot?
So learning is social. So the more we socialize students, the more they will learn. So if somebody from Raebareli sees this is how it is being played out in Delhi, she will also do the same in Raebareli. So for people to know that there is a method, they should be exposed to that method. If all it took was a mail, Reza will also write mail. Right? So that's one thing with youngsters that I've noticed is that their ability to learn from peers is very, very high. So when we are doing the socializings, a lot of learning starts to take place. Right? So we would also want to shorten that path by calling some companies. We're too early into it. But from year 2 onwards, we have digital marketing, social media right now. We have done website. So these are all the capabilities that students can start to use to say that I can do this for you, I can do that for you. Right? You have done accounting. Right? So if you have done accounting very, very well, you already have a job. So look at it from built-in capability. I do website. Don't look at it as a course. I'm doing marketing, but then spend more time. Talk to SMEs, talk to faculty, create certain communities inside to say that we're going to do business model analytics of, let's say, CRED. The most challenging of companies to figure out how are they making money. Right? So listen to some of this podcast, figure out how business works, right? So build capabilities. And then we are not saying we're not going to get you placement platforms. We're not saying we're going to get you placements. So we will socialize with companies because we can socialize with companies. Students need to pitch themselves and make themselves attractive to say that I can do this, I can do that, for them to be picked up by these companies.
And the program helps and facilitates
That's
them.
we would want to do that. We haven't put our mind to it. This time when we had Nova Unplugged, we called Suruta, who runs Go Crack It. Suruta and her husband, Suruta is from IIM-Ahmedabad, husband is from IIM-Bangalore. Both of them, and she started in our first women startup program. So we had her have workshop, 2.5-hour workshop. One of the things which our director, Mr. Rishi Krishnan, also suggested that we should help them with their thinking of careers, right? To demystify career, to demystify jobs, and no better time to do it in first year onwards itself. So we're going to start that parallelly. Surita will basically tell the best practices in terms of building one's CV, building one's experience, and we are bringing her on very early. Right? That will be helpful to the students.
Just having proper hygiene factors in their resume
Yes.
would help a lot in their signaling of
Yes.
competency.
Yes. And I also feel that everybody shouldn't come to Bangalore because there are lots of companies in your neighborhood who would require help. It's not that there are no good companies in Vizag. It's not that there are no good companies in Bhubaneswar. It's not that there are no good companies in Varanasi. So while you are there, you work with them. Maybe you can work for a year and see that how that pans out. I think there has to be a lot of local venture should be supported as well. Like some of the local family businesses could be supported. The family businesses are internationalizing or scaling up. Right? So those could be a wonderful opportunities to work with. It is sincerity that helps you develop an extremely robust and interesting value proposition that others will find it valuable to pay money. Right? So it's very important to do things sincerely because that builds capabilities. Right? So when you talk to ID, Mustafa did it as part of his marketing course here. So if you're very serious, you could actually do all your entrepreneurial thinking through in your educational course and build all that learning while you are in the program itself.
Jacob sir was telling how very interesting stories came out of the rupees 250 do your venture,
Yes.
and how someone just asked, can I get a telescope? And the company said, yes, you can. And then he started charging a fee at the park.
So imagine people think you need money to start. Here he started with minus 14,000. Right? Somebody gave him 14,000 worth telescope free. And that was easy for him to start a venture with, right? And these stories will also give confidence to others. And one of the things that you need to realize that not everything will end up being successful. It is persistence that matters, not whether you're successful or not. We only look at success stories as like stepping out and hitting the ball for a six. Right? We like the Suryavanshi kind of stories. Suryavanshi would have played and played and played and played. You only look at it from stepping out to this fast bowlers when you're still a teenager, early teens. It takes a lot of courage for you to step out and hit a ball. Unless you have done that 3 million times, you wouldn't be confident to do it, right? So look at all these projects and courses and content. If you start to take it seriously, then these can then be leveraged at cards that you use to play in your job in terms of your career. I don't see it like IIT Madras where like tens and thousands of students are going to be interested. It will always be of interest to about 1,000, 1,500. At best, we'll go to 1,500 or something like that this time around. Not more than that, because we also are seeing some of the students going on to slower tracks, some of them wanting to get off. This time we started with 1014. We had about 950. In the next term, we probably will see about 900 odd. And so each term we lose some students, or at least they're going on the slower tracks. So we would want to have at least 300 people graduate after 9 terms.
So just a couple of small things. People were also very excited about clubs and committees. And they said, if you meet Professor Suresh, please ask him.
I know they've been asking a lot of this. I've been saying, let's fix academics first and then we'll do all fun and frolic. Because without academics, so which is why, so here's what. If 70% of the batch passes stacks 1 and 2, I'm willing to do anything for them, right? So let's fix the academics first. If the academics is done well, right, others are very easy. Actually, PGP students have also been suggesting, saying that this is what we can do. So I'll wait for them to come back after summers, and first years are going to join. So they said they would be able to mentor. So first year, I wasn't very keen on doing far too many things. I do think clubs are very interesting.
I think just like gamification, it creates a bond among these members. I'm having one more identity to represent, and I would like that identity to be fostered.
No. So the reason why I have been against is that students here on campus are all far more interested in being part of a club than coming to my class, right? So this is one way of taking vengeance on them, saying that no more clubs, right? So if they start to show similar level of interest in doing clubs as well as academics, we'll be interested. No, but jokes apart.
I mean, it can be really well aligned, like finance club, finance courses, giving them some amount of money to perhaps make their own fund.
No. I'm not going to play that regular MBA game. We will have to play family business game. We will have to play startup game. We're not going to play the general MBA game. We'll have to be innovative.
That is very exciting.
Yeah, so we'll have to do social. So go work for an NGO. So we'll have social club. I'm just saying that we need to have alternative clubs because we have a white canvas. So we don't have to do, because when you do an MBA, it's all set. Because A does, B does, C does, Indore does, Kozhikode does, Shillong does, everybody has to do the same. We don't have to do the same. Right? So we'll think up of the kind of clubs that we would want.
So in one suggestion from, I think, a lot of students would be Discord communities.
Okay, we'll explore that because life is, every day is a learning for us.
On offline 4-year programs based on NEP, IIM-Bangalore in the newer campus.
So that's a different program. That's a completely different program. There's nothing got to do with this program. This program will continue as a 3-year course. That program is likely to start next year with a 4-year liberal arts multidisciplinary program. But that would be about 300, 400 max that they can take.
So people are waiting so eagerly.
No, but we also, look, building a campus is not easy. It takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of resources. When you're looking at IIM, this took 50 years to get to this point, and we work very hard on this campus. And we have been given a very hard, very, very hard location. So building something there will take a lot of our resources. It's a very pretty place, but it's a valley.
Yes.
So it's not a flat land that we can build straight away. So and then we had a little bit of an issue with the new environmental laws that got changed. So the better part of the campus is now falls within the protected zone. So what we could have developed very easily is in that particular zone. So we have to develop the part that is very hard to develop, that we never wanted to develop, right? And that is taking a lot of time because we are likely to, I don't know the numbers, but I have a feeling we may have to spend even hundreds of crores just to even level up to start to build, right? And that takes a lot of resources. And well, hopefully it will definitely start next year, by which time this program would have cemented its place in the broader ecosystem, because not everybody can, I don't know what it is going to be, but it can't be anything less than 7 lakhs, 8 lakhs a year. So which means that a 4-year program is going to be pretty expensive. And not everybody will be able to afford that kind of a program. And I feel, like, we need more undergrad courses.
I spoke with Professor Ananda Kutan from IIM Kozhikode. They recently launched in their Kochi campus. And his entire idea was, we want to increase the size of the pie and not have competition in the same pie. So undergraduation would help them perhaps make a technical course similar to BTech, where folks do that 4-year degree and they're as capable as freshers of MBA. So that was their whole vision statement behind that program.
Absolutely, in the sense that we need to give more choices, but we need more choices to the undergrads. I think I'm interested in building a cadre of young, capable individuals who have digital capabilities, entrepreneurial capabilities, and business capabilities, because then they start to become fungible at multiple levels, right? And one of the biggest issues with Indian startup ecosystem is that nobody wants to join a startup. Everyone wants to do a startup. I want to be a founder, But they need people as they scale. And that is where I would like this cadre to go and join that very innovative startups that they're scaling up, because India is going to grow. There are lots of startups that are going to come across, and a lot of family businesses are going to grow. And that would be a very good sweet spot for these students to go. I'll be very unhappy if the most desirous job is McKinsey. I don't want that, because that we could do by putting one extra PGP section.
Yes.
Right? I would say that, okay, I'm going to join a family business and then scale it. I'm going to join the startup and create an entire new business, right? That entrepreneurial, that's piratist spirit to say that I'm going to not be like everybody else, at least for 3 years.
So take the risk of building and shipping.
Yeah, 3 years, and say that I want to be very risky. And then you start to become less risky little later. So I'll be very unhappy because I want to join McKinsey. Think up of this as your own startup of you. So when you're looking at as a startup of you, large scaling startups are not looking at profitability early on.
Yes.
There is an element of profitability at some point of time when you want to scale. There is no profitability. There is figuring out your business model. You're figuring out elements of your business model. That's how you should look at it. So don't look at salary, because salary would mean that you may be pitching it too low.
You're optimizing for the long variables.
For current, right? It's more presentism. Okay, let me go back and say, so when I was at your age, right, I did not think I'll be doing any of this. Like True Blue, I mean, I've said it multiple times that like a True Blue Telugu person, I thought I want non-resident American. And I would imagine I'm going to give GRE, I'm going to go to the US, and I'm going to be there. That's it. That's where I would be. And you realize life takes you elsewhere. Something else happens, and you realize, oh, that's not as exciting. Going to the US is not exciting. Let me do something even more exciting, right? So I think a lot of people should ask others, saying that when you got your dream job, how long did you hold on to it? Question: when you were on campus, what was your dream job, and how long did it take for you to realize that's not your dream job? So when you start to frame that question, the dream job is a very temporal construct. And a lot of people leave their jobs in first year. Like in general, campus jobs, people leave within a year. So if you fought for 2 years with all your fellow students, and you made yourself attractive to this particular company, then what happened? You leave it in a year's time. So where is that dream job? If a dream job, you should have been there for 7 years, right? Because that's where I wanted to be. I just love being there. I'm doing more. So ask people how long have they stayed in their dream job when they were 22 or 26.
I think once they got a cushion of a dream job, they're like, now let me fight and experiment.
Or you say that it is not as dream as you thought it is. Right? Sitting on a plane and going to different cities may be exciting for the first 4 months. After that, it'll be, I have to go, I don't know where I'm going, and I start to realize, why am I on this plane all the time? I don't know, I'm just saying a lot of people will have that reflective thought. Right? So that's why, right? So don't place yourself saying that this is the job I want to do because of my peers will respect me for that. Look at it as I'm creating my own dots. So that's a very powerful Steve Jobs. This one, I think everybody should listen to that once again.
CUET general test is being accepted, JEE is being accepted, last 3 years scores are being accepted. So I think application friction has almost reduced to nil.
And somebody challenged us, right? Why don't you say that I'll take 90%, whatever, peg a percentage at 12th standard saying that if you get this, you are in. So why do you think 12th is not good enough that you need another test, right? So it's like a little bit reflective of our educational policies as well. Right? So let's see how this experiment goes. We seem to have opened up a lot more confusing how we're going to evaluate CUT, how we're going to evaluate JEE, how we're going to evaluate CU, our own exam, how's the parity. We don't know. We'll figure that out. as
This can be made into a contest for all the statistics students who pass the
Yes.
exam.
yeah, saying that, look, you, or the other way around, those who haven't passed, solve this for us and then you pass. Yes, yeah. No, the thing was, we realized that since a lot of them are looking at a secondary degree,
That was
maybe students who have done first year and they've gone into the place that they want to go to, maybe in their second year wouldn't mind doing this because they'll say, okay, this is an extra thing that I can do because I'm already done with my first year. So in which case they may not be motivated to do an exam again, but you've already done it 2 years ago. I could probably see and use that score to join IIM-B. So in a way, let's see the cohort
yes, sir.
homogeneity or heterogeneity this time. And let's see how it goes. It's an experiment. And as I told you, we are all in it. You are in it. We are in it. The students are in it. Parents are in it. A big, big thanks to all the parents because the pioneering batch is the hardest, right?
Yes. And I think that will also be the closest batch that you will have. With the
Absolutely, absolutely. Because struggles were very, like I keep telling the current batch, next batch will not be as painful because all the experiments have been done on them. Maybe courses are going to be much more easier.
Our faculty said the exact same thing
Yes.
to us.
Yeah, that's how it's going to be. That's how it's going to be.
All right, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
I hope
Thanks
this
a lot,
becomes
Gavish.
a yearly tradition.
Thanks a lot. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Hey, it's afterwards.